And the best reporting team is standing by across these 5 states this morning. Across these 5 states, elections results will be announced a little later today, counting to begin at about 8 a.m. this morning. Mosmi Singh, my colleague, joins me from Lucknow, and from Chandigarh, Manjeet Sehgal is joining me. Today, of course, is the grand finale to the state of war. Counting of votes will begin at 8 a.m. This morning. Like I said, it has been a feverish campaign for all of these parties across all of these states, and it's going to be very critical because everyone is watching these results very keenly, especially in the states of Uttar Pradesh and Punjab, where my colleagues are standing by. In fact, it has been a heated campaign. In Uttar Pradesh, the election lasted for over a month, over 7 phases. In fact, several candidates were in the fray as well. Top netas were campaigning across these states, sniping at each other. And today, of course, is finally Judgment Day. The EVMs will be opened and they will tell us who's winning the battle for UP, for Uttarakhand, Punjab, Manipur and Goa. In Uttar Pradesh, it has been a bitter fight between Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath and his challenger number 1, Akhilesh Yadav, who's fighting in an alliance with the RLD. Priyanka Gandhi-led Congress, in fact, is eyeing the woman vote this time. Exit polls have projected a BJP win in Uttar Pradesh. Meanwhile, in Punjab, the exit polls predict an Aam Aadmi Party sweep. After months of, in fact, simmering tensions in the Punjab Congress, first between Navjot Singh Sidhu and Captain, and then Sidhu and Chief Minister Chani, the party is in fact projected to come second to Aam Aadmi Party. A victory in Punjab will give new wings to Kejriwal's national ambitions. Punjab could become the launch pad for Aam Aadmi Party in Gujarat and even 2024. While the BJP looks confident in Uttarakhand and Goa, exit poll predictions have sent the Congress into panic mode. DK Shivkumar is in Goa to keep the flock together, while Bhupesh Baghel and Dipinder Hooda have been rushed to Uttarakhand for alliance talks. In Manipur, the northeastern state, exit polls have predicted a win for the Bharatiya Janata Party. It is another state where the BJP and the Congress are in a face-off. In case of a hung assembly, of course, 2 regional parties, the NPP and the NPF, could play a crucial role in government formation. Right. My colleagues Mosmi Singh and Manjeet Sehgal are in fact joining me live this morning. Mosmi is in Lucknow, Manjeet Sehgal is in Chandigarh. Good morning to both of you, Mosmi and Manjeet. I'll come across to you first, Mosmi. Uttar Pradesh, the big ticket election, the assembly election which panned out across a month over 7 phases. You covered that election. Very important and a very crucial election. This in fact sets the tone for 2024 as well. Both parties, are they on the edge, or who's seeming more confident to you as we go into counting this morning? Mosmi.
A very good morning to you and all our viewers. Follow me from Lucknow, the heart of Uttar Pradesh, and we are standing right outside the most powerful address in Uttar Pradesh, that is the 5 Kalidas Marg. I do remember 5 years back, when this nameplate was changed and a lot of buzz was made and controversy was made by Samajwadi Party, even as Havans were performed before Yogi Adityanath, the Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister, actually took over. And that was the auspicious period of Navratra, and he did hold a feast here inside at his residence for all the cabinet members. Now, talking about 5 years, this is a time when all the spotlights are on Yogi Adityanath, the UP CM, because importantly, if you look at the entire battle, even as, it has been fought tooth and nail, the BJP has, supported and backed the Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister, in fact, focusing on the law and order situation in Uttar Pradesh and the development schemes that have been projected by the state and centre. Importantly, it is an Agni Pariksha for Yogi Adityanath as well, because his political journey journey and his spiritual journey that started even before his political journey, has spanned out for decades, and he became the youngest member of parliament way back in 98. Ever since then, he has never looked back. He's known as a very, very strict administrator, and that is the plank that the BJP is banking on. So we'll have to wait and see, because this residence is going to be buzzing throughout the day, even as the results pour in. And the Chief Minister was in Gorakhpur till yesterday when he came back to Lucknow. So I can tell you, apart from the entire poll results and all the controversy, the political temperature soaring, in Lucknowi Andas Polemi, the netas would be saying, सुना है तेरी महफिल में आज रत जगा है, नींद तो कईयों को नहीं आई होगी. So sleepless nights for netas, even as everybody will be waiting for with bated breath, for those results to actually pour in.
Right, Mosmi, that's probably an excellent Lucknowi way of putting it in terms of how the netas in Uttar Pradesh and specifically in Lucknow this morning must be feeling. Their hearts beating really fast and possibly haven't slept this entire night in order to find out what exactly do the ballot boxes hold in store for them. Samat Srivastav is also joining me from Lucknow. Samat, I'll come across to you, but before that, I'll go across to Punjab. Manjeet Sehgal is joining me live from Chandigarh. Manjeet, Punjab, is it going to spring a surprise? This is again going to be a damp squib for the Congress in terms of their footprint across the nation. Is that what the people on the ground are telling you? Because that's what the exit polls are telling us.
Good morning, Polemi, but I am in Bathinda, and this is part of the Malwa belt, which has 69 seats. All eyes are on this belt because it is said that the party who wins maximum seats from this region forms a government in Punjab. In 2017, Congress had won 40 seats from this region. Aam Aadmi Party was able to win 18 seats, and the Shiromani Akali Dal BJP alliance had won just 8 seats. So this time the parties did their hard work to get maximum seats here. We are expecting that Aam Aadmi Party will be winning more seats this time, as various exit polls, including the India Today, My Access India exit poll, has also predicted a victory for Aam Aadmi Party. So the way to form the government in Punjab leads from Malwa belt, and as far as the Aam Aadmi Party is concerned, Aam Aadmi Party is buoyant at the exit polls, as almost all exit polls have predicted that Aam Aadmi Party is going to form the government in Punjab. But the opposition, Shiromani Akali Dal, has rubbished and said it does not believe in the exit polls, and the exit and opinion polls should be banned. This is what the Akali Dal Supremo Sukhbir Badal yesterday said, and he has also demanded that these polls be banned. But as far as Congress is concerned, Congress held an important meeting in Chandigarh. Congress is fearing poaching of its MLAs. As far as the counting arrangements are concerned, 50 companies have been deployed at various counting centers to manage a 3-layer security cover. Each counting center will be having at least 14 tables, except a couple of constituencies where we'll be having a fewer tables, vote count tables. Even COVID-19 norms will also be formed, and each counting center will be divided into 2 rooms. So as far as the arrangements are concerned, all arrangements are in place. Heavy security deployment is there. You can see behind me, the police have barricaded entire routes leading to the 3 counting centers here at Bathinda. But the poll turnout, Polemi, this time was 5% less as compared to 2017, which has left the psephologists even baffled, as we are predicting as the exit polls are predicting a victory for Aam Aadmi Party. No bumper voting took place this time. The voting was 5% less as compared to 2017. The picture will be clear around 11 o'clock when Punjab will be witnessing their new government. Following.
Absolutely. That's right. By about 11 a.m., by about 12 noon, we will, of course, start getting a clearer picture as to who exactly is set to, in fact, form government in Punjab and across the other 4 assembly states as well, state legislatures as well. Mosmi and Manjeet, stay on with us. Joining me right now is Rajdeep Sardesai, consulting editor. He's, of course, going to be leading India Today's coverage in a while from now, just in an hour from now. Rajdeep, what are you looking forward to? What's your gut feeling telling you this morning?
Well, the first thing is the jacket has to be brought on in a few minutes from now. And yes, like any other results day, this should be an exciting day because you've got 5 states, including India's most politically influential and populous state of Uttar Pradesh. And in a sense, this is, some would say, midterm of Modi 2.0. So lot to look forward to in terms of what will it mean for the BJP, the ruling BJP, for the opposition Congress, and indeed for Akhilesh Yadav, for the regional parties also. There's much at stake, and the Aam Aadmi Party, the X factor as in Punjab. So I think, like with every election, expect plenty of drama, lots of twists and turns. The exit polls have given clearer verdicts, but who knows what the voter has decided. So I think part of covering an election is, it's like a T20 match. Lots of twists and turns before you finally know who's won. So greatly looking forward to the day ahead.
Right, so lots of excitement in anticipation of those results being announced today. Rahul Kaval, our news director, is also joining me live this morning. Good morning to you, Rahul. In terms of the big ticket winner today, who are you placing your bets on?
Good morning, Pauline. The biggest winner on counting day could potentially be the BJP, which since 2019 has been struggling to register the kind of victory they did in the Lok Sabha elections, raising questions about whether in assembly elections the BJP doesn't do well as it does in a Lok Sabha election. But if the BJP wins in the manner that Access My India has predicted for the India Today group in Uttar Pradesh, in Manipur, potentially also in Uttarakhand, it'll suggest that some of that anti-incumbency which was seen because of the COVID pandemic's management or because of the farm laws is now on the side, and the BJP gets a renewed mojo, a people's mandate as it were. So it's a big fillip for Prime Minister Modi, who was a key campaigner for the BJP. The other big takeaway could potentially be for Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, who would overturn 35 years of political history by winning again. I mean, all of what I'm saying is, of course, subject to these exit polls coming out right, which we'll know starting, say, in about 2 hours from now. But if that happens, then Yogi Adityanath clearly establishes himself as first amongst equals amidst all the BJP CMs. So the battle for who after Modi is a long battle. Nothing's up for grabs just at this moment. But Yogi Adityanath does register impressive credentials with a big victory if he's able to achieve that in India's most populous state. He's young. He has almost 2 decades of experience as an MP, 5 years already as Chief Minister. So he's really on the right track, and that would be a horse to bet on if you look at political stars.
Right. Thank you, Rahul, for joining us. So Yogi Adityanath definitely is going to be one of those people who will be watching these results extremely keenly, because this, in a sense, will be sealing his fate for the future. What is his role going to be going forward in National Bharatiya Janata Party? That possibly will become much clearer after the results are out later today. Shreya Chatterjee, my colleague, is now joining me from Dehradun again. Important election in the state of Uttarakhand. Shreya, good morning to you. How are the BJP and the Congress camps feeling this morning? Because exit polls have predicted that the Bharatiya Janata Party is set to win, but the Congress is not giving up just as yet. They are trying to keep their flock together because they do believe that there could be a cliffhanger of a moment in these results as they are announced from Uttarakhand. Shreya.
Well, absolutely so, Pauline. You know, people are expecting a cliffhanger from the hill state, Uttarakhand, and that is why the halfway mark over here is 36, because 70 seats are up for grab. And if you see the situation right now here in Uttarakhand, you know, heavyweights from both BJP and the Congress are camping here in the state. One side we see Kailash Vijayvargiya, who's getting the Congress jittery, is why we saw all those heavyweights like Dipender Hooda to Bhupesh Baghel being flown by the Congress camp to Uttarakhand, where
13 different districts have been divided between the top heavyweights of the Congress, and they are monitoring every key situation. And Bhupesh Baghel is stationed here in Dehradun. What we definitely know from our sources that both sides believe that there will be a possibility of the smaller parties like Uttarakhand Kranti Party, which will probably have a say in deciding who wins. So definitely an interesting day to look out for. And if you ask reporters, then probably they would want a clear number that should come out. So we'll have to keep our fingers crossed once that trends come settle in so far as Uttarakhand is concerned.
Right, Shreya, stay on with us. Of course, we'll keep coming back to you through the day because Uttarakhand, again, do not take your eyes off Uttarakhand because like Shreya was saying, it could be a cliffhanger of a contest that we're witnessing on results day. Rajdeep, I'll come back across to you. In terms of predictions, are you ready to make any sort of predictions at the moment? Who's going to emerge as the Sikandar of the day?
You know, that's an extremely dangerous question to ask at the start of a big day like this. Who will be Sikandar? The exit polls have suggested that the BJP is going to win big in Uttar Pradesh, that the Aam Aadmi Party will win big in Punjab. But as we saw with Punjab in 2017, the Aam Aadmi Party lost out. And Uttar Pradesh is also a complex state. But I would say expect clear-cut verdicts. I believe increasingly Indian voters give clear verdicts. So whoever wins should win handily is my expectation. The one state which could keep us going for a long time is the smallest state of Goa, because that's the state where we all expect a hung assembly. So the real election in Goa starts after 4 p.m. Today. But the other states, I expect relatively clear mandates for whoever wins. And that should in a way set the trend for 2024, which is again why today is very important. It will give us a sense, particularly in that battle between the BJP and Congress, who are opposing each other in 3 of the 5 states, who's ahead among the 2 major national parties, and kaun banega challenger. Mamata Banerjee last year in Bengal, will it be Kejriwal this time riding on a momentum if he wins Punjab?
Right. Rajdeep, thank you so much for joining us. I'll go back across to my colleague Masmi Singh, who is joining me live from Lucknow early this morning. Masmi, you, of course, have been covering the elections in Uttar Pradesh, but just a couple of days before results are out, Samajwadi Party, of course, raised a stink about EVMs and the transfer of EVMs, and they were quite right about it because the Election Commission did act upon it. They did take some strict action against election officials in Banaras, in Bareilly, in Sonbhadra as well. But does that in any sense to you suggest Akhilesh Yadav's and Samajwadi Party's nervousness ahead of results day?
Paulami, if you look at the entire situation in Uttar Pradesh, even as in the morning there's a nip in the air, the political temperatures have heated up. We've had, Samajwadi Party workers and candidates guarding strong rooms right here in Lucknow. And, Akhilesh Yadav, slamming the Election Commission, slamming the BJP machinery, and also the UP bureaucrats, making direct allegations that top officials are calling up polling centers and asking the officials to count slowly. So very serious allegations leveled by Akhilesh Yadav, even as he says this is the last election as far as democracy is concerned. This is the last fight for democracy. So very, very scathing attack by Akhilesh Yadav. Is it a sense of nervousness? One doesn't really know, but yes, a sense of disappointment did creep in after the exit polls, because the Samajwadi Party was emboldened by the crowds and the entire buzz that Akhilesh Yadav did create. And even as we stand outside the CM's residence, you can see that there is a calm prevailing. I do recall, that nameplate that you see right there, Yogi Adityanath. That nameplate actually had Adityanath Yogi earlier when he did take charge and move into this residence, and it was changed thereafter. And before that, it bore the template, the nameplate of Akhilesh Yadav. So one will have to wait and see whether the Chief Minister can break a 35-year-old jinx, because no CM has actually repeated his tenure in Uttar Pradesh. That's the kind of battle we are looking at. And as Rajdeep really mentioned, I do believe that there could be a clear-cut mandate, whichever side really wins, there could be a clear-cut mandate from battleground Uttar Pradesh by the voters. The voters are king, and the netas are keeping their fingers crossed. The results will be trickling in, Polami, but one can easily say that if you look at all the states, the results of one state that will have a bearing on 2024 will have a bearing as far as, the journey of BJP and Prime Minister Narendra Modi is concerned. The way ahead is going to be Uttar Pradesh, and that's why, all eyes are on this state.
Absolutely, undoubtedly, I definitely have to agree with you over there that if one state results are to have a bearing on 2024, then that has to be Uttar Pradesh. Uttar Pradesh sends 80 members of parliament to the Lok Sabha, very crucial for the Bharatiya Janata Party in case they want to continue to ride the wave that they've been riding since 2014. Mosmi, thank you so much for joining us. We'll of course keep coming back to you. But speaking of the subject that we were just discussing with Mosmi right now, in fact, the charges ahead of results day that have been leveled by Akhilesh Yadav of the Samajwadi Party against EVMs, saying that EVMs can in fact be tampered with, that he doesn't trust EVMs. He's raised questions on EVMs, especially with the emergence of videos on social media of trucks transporting EVMs. Now, while the Election Commission and officials in charge of conducting these elections have dismissed those charges, yes, one election official stands suspended in Banaras. Here's a report.
A truck is found moving EVMs in Varanasi, sparking a fresh firestorm over voting machines. While district officials said the movement on Monday was a routine one for training purposes, they admitted lapses in following the procedures.
ये गलती जिस भी अधिकारी से हुई है वो ईवीएम प्रभारी जिसकी भी रिपोर्ट ऑब्जर्वर्स के या अन्य माध्यम से भेजी गई उस पर इलेक्शन कमीशन ने आज कार्रवाई की है। इन अधिकारी को मेरे द्वारा सभी निर्वाचन ड्यूटी से तो अर्ली मॉर्निंग ही हटा दिया गया था।
The opposition has lashed out at the Election Commission. SP Chief Akhilesh Yadav was the first of the opposition bloc, alleging a theft of votes by the BJP.
वहां से लखनऊ से फोन आ रहे हैं कि जहां पर भारतीय जनता पार्टी हार रही हो वहां पर काउंटिंग स्लो हो और रात तक काउंटिंग लेकर के जाइए।
The SP pressed its members to mount vigils at counting centres, alleging foul play to hijack the mandate, creating ruckus outside heavily guarded strong rooms.
This is a moment of reckoning for many leaders. It's a moment of nervousness. It's the last leg of this marathon election in the UP, and that's one reason that you see that this battle is being fought tooth and nail.
The BJP was quick to mock the claims of EVM fraud, calling it the last fig leaf for the opposition facing a mega rout at the hands of UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath.
अखिलेश जी चुनाव के दौरान भी समझ गए थे कि लोग समाजवादी पार्टी की ओर गंभीर नहीं थे और 10 मार्च का भी अखिलेश जी ने इंतजार नहीं किया, 8 को ही कहना शुरू कर दिया ईवीएम बेवफा है।
The ghost of EVM hack has routinely been resurrected ahead of several past mega verdict days. Has it become the favorite whipping boy of a political class, or is there any merit in the claims? With Mausami Singh in Lucknow, Bureau Report, India Today.